Welcome to the College Football Prediction Roundtable, presented live here on the Bleacher Report app. Another beautiful Friday. We get to talk ball. We're going to provide you with some picks around, some of the big games this coming weekend. I'm Jay from Unfair Sports. We have Steven from Fanatic Perspective, Ty from Around the Table Sports, and Nino from NinosCorner. Gentlemen, we've got some fun ones this weekend, and we've got some potential playoff implication games. I'm excited to talk about it with you all. How y'all feeling so far?
Jay, I'm feeling fantastic. I'm back in the United States after last week's BTA between our teams. You guys know how that went down. I'm feeling good. I had some Dominican run, some Dominican sun, and a whole lot of Dominican fun, baby. Let's get it going, Jay.
God.
Let's get it going, everybody. Happy Friday.
BTA, I need
man.
to happen now.
My
a big
gosh.
one. Gosh. This guy.
BTA, baby. Steven, where's the belt, man? Where's the belt at, Steven?
You see how I get treated, Ty? I'm the nicest person in this room, and look at how
we love
I'm
you,
treated.
Jay.
All right.
We love you, Jay.
I'm going to start muting people, too. But no, I'm kidding. All right, we're going to go ahead. Let's jump into some of these games. We got some big ones. We've got games. We're going to go through our mortal locks. We've got some spreads, and then we'll wrap things up by looking at the final picks and the standings. So jump in the chat. Let us know what you think. We want to hear you all as well. So let's go to the first game. Let's just ride right into it. We're looking at Nebraska versus Indiana. Now, this shouldn't take too long, as Indiana's a 6.5-point favorite. Gentlemen, y'all know that Indiana is 6-0 this season. My goodness, they are balling all over the field. I'm impressed that we've got the Hoosiers actually doing this. At 16th in the nation, I feel like this is probably the game Indiana's going to win, so I'm going to take the Hoosiers. I like what Nebraska's doing defensively. I like where the offense is going, but we're still talking about young players. And Indiana just feels like they're buttoned up. It's so weird to say that, right? I can't even say it without a smirk. But I'm going to take Indiana. I'm going to make it even simple. Steven, who you riding with? The over-under is 49.5, by the way.
So, Jay, I'm going to stay with you, man. I like IU in this game. This is their big opportunity front and center. I think a lot of people may lean Nebraska out of familiarity and brand. IU hasn't had a whole bunch of opportunities front and center versus the rest of the country, whereas Nebraska's had some big games thus far. But, this quarterback, Curtis Rourke, former transfer from Ohio, he has been outstanding this year. And it's not just him. He's supplemented with the run game. They have 23 rushing touchdowns on the ground. They've been pretty resourceful in the red zone of helping complement him. But he has one of the highest passer efficient ratings in the country. He's been balling every single game. This Nebraska team's really good. I like their defense. But they're going to meet their match, I think, in this game. And this is an opportunity for Indiana to really, really, really put themselves on the map. I agree with Jay. There's a reason why this is a 6.5-point spread. Give me IU as well for people to make Curtis Rourke a household name.
Ty.
Yeah, well, we're off to a boring start because I agree completely. Give me IU. And I'm going to take it where Steven left off. I love everything he said about the offense. I'm here to talk about the defense because when I look at Nebraska, I have been very impressed with Raiola, right? Like, sure, he's had some freshman moments. Name me a freshman quarterback that has it, but the talent is evident. And the direction Nebraska going is evident. And I'm very happy for all of the Nebraska fans out there. After what you've experienced, to have this team now, the direction you're going, very excited for you. But Indiana comes in here with a defense ranked 6th nationally. This is a no-joke unit. So it's not just that they're very talented or very good offensively. They're a complete football team, and this is an opportunity for them to make a statement, like these gentlemen said, against a national brand. I like them to be able to make that statement.
Nino, wrap us up.
Come fade us. Give me IU, baby. If I told you that Indiana was number 1 in the Big Ten in offense, number 2 in the Big Ten in defense, would you believe me? Well, believe me, guys. Indiana is that team right now in the Big Ten. They're a force to be reckoned with, man. Give me Indiana to win this game and cover.
Okay. Win and cover the 6.5. Fantastic. Next game we got up Interesting ACC matchup. 4-2 Virginia travels to play against Clemson, who's 5-1 and 4-0 in conference. The Tigers are 22.5-point favorites in this game. Woo-wee. And I got to say this. I'm taking Clemson to make it easy. That Clemson's been balling. Cade Klubnik has been looking like the quarterback we thought he was going to be. The run game has been pretty solid. But overall, they've got the young wide receivers, TJ Moore and Brian Westco. They're adding to all the freshman phenom wide receivers we've seen in the country this year. And, man, Clemson is rolling. I'm gonna go with the Tigers. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Steven, who you got?
So Virginia's been a little sneaky, and 4-2 is a strong start for them, especially in the ACC. Malachi Fields third in the ACC in receiving yardage for Virginia. Give me Clemson though. I think this game would be a little bit more interesting to think about if it was in Charlottesville. But I believe this one is. I'm pretty sure this one is in Clemson, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
It's in Clemson.
Yeah. So I feel comfortable with Clemson here. I think that's why they're carrying a little bit of a higher number. Jay kind of said it. They've been consistent since Georgia. They really have. They've been consistent. I mean, the jokes about Dabo were cool a couple months ago, but he's been kind of back up. So I'm gonna keep rolling with Clemson on this one until he shows me otherwise.
Yeah, 5-game winning streak, and they've won every game by almost 20 points. At least by what? Just about. They've been kicking butt. Ty, who you got?
Sorry to disappoint, but the boring streak continues. Give me Clemson. and I will continue to make jokes because that's what I do. So that's not fair. Going anywhere. This is a fascinating game, though, because I have Clemson winning. I don't know if I have Clemson covering. I think this could be one where they get within 3 points of that cover, and that's where it ends out. So I do expect Clemson to win by a decent margin. But what was that line again, Jay?
It's 21. It opened at 22.5. It's dropped to about 21. So a 3-touchdown spread. That's still massive.
Big. I don't know that I like them to cover. I could see a 17-point win, but give me Clemson in this game.
Yeah, if they end up beating them like they beat Wake Forest 49-14, that's going to make me look bad. Nino, who you got?
True.
Hey, man, I got my cousin in the chat telling me don't do it, but I got to do it because clean sweep come fade us, man. Clemson's going to win this game, man. It's going to happen, man. Hey, all the jokes about Dabo, I understand. I think Steven kind of hit it on the head, man. Look, he's not a portal guy. He wants to do it his way. NIL, name, image, and likeness of Jesus Christ. He's going to say that 24/7, and I respect him for it. And his team is winning right now in his brand and in whatever fashion he wants to make it happen. So give me Clemson, strong defense. They win that game.
All right, next game. Next item up for bid. Ty's, of course, excited about this one. This is his game of the week. It's going to be Auburn traveling to Columbia and playing Missouri. The Missouri Tigers are now a 4-point favorite. They opened at 7 points. I have no clue why this spread is so close, especially for a team like Missouri, who we thought would cakewalk their way into a potential SEC championship conversation bid. Their schedule was built for it. Then they got thrashed by Texas A&M on the road. Auburn coming in as only a 4-point dog. Yeah, I'm going to take the Tigers in this one. Look, I don't typically want to believe in teams that I know is going to break my heart and disappoint me.
Which Tigers?
Well, Missouri has done that to me.
Which Tigers, Jay?
I'm taking the Tigers in this game. No, I'm going with Auburn. I'm going to ride with Auburn in this one. That's the one Tiger I'm going to pick. Wow, we had back-to-back games with Tigers. That's even more hilarious. So give me Auburn. I don't normally pick teams I know that's going to disappoint me. But, man, I don't know what it is about Missouri. They are making me more and more nervous. They've had nothing but close games since their Buffalo blowout, and then they got blown out by A&M. I don't know what it is about them, but it don't feel good. Auburn gets their first conference win. Steven, who you got?
On the road, right? Man, Jay out here.
On the road.
I'm a little shook by that pick.
Jay, what's in that cup, big dog? What's in that cup, big dog?
Go off.
It's some bourbon I got from Las Vegas on my flight back home last night.
Nice.
Instant
Nice.
pick.
All right. So shout out to the Nebraska fans in the chat that are a little upset. I hear you guys. I stand with you guys. Make sure you pull up next week when you're wrong. Okay, that's all I ask. Anyway,
Because we'll be here
give me
regardless.
Mizzou. We'll be here regardless. So you can either take your victory lap or you can say, hey, you guys are right. You maybe know a little bit of something about my football team. But give me Mizzou at the crib. Auburn, I mean, both of these teams are suspect coaching-wise. I think the spread is what it is because Mizzou's going to have to climb their way back into good graces after just puking their brains out on national TV in College Station in front of everybody. But they're not that bad. That's my analysis for the game. They're not that bad. I think they get it done and cover versus Auburn.
Ty, who you got?
Well, Jay, I'm shocked. I'm like Steven. You talked about how you didn't want to pick a program who you don't know who they are and that is in close game, but you picked Auburn. Now, here's the problem. I know who Auburn is. It's a team that's going to give the ball away like they're playing hot potato. Why? Because they do it on schedule every single time. Jay, when they played your Oklahoma Sooners, I sat up here and said, Auburn's going to lose because they give the ball away. Well, they didn't give the ball away until that fateful moment in which the Kip 6 happened. So Auburn is going to turn the ball over. Missouri comes in here with a defense that's a top 15 defense and total defense. I know what just happened at A&M, but you know what A&M has? Two things that I don't know that Auburn has. A lot of 5 stars still on that roster, 4 and 5 stars. Auburn is talented, but they've had to rebuild via the portal. And 2, I have more faith in Mike Elko than I do Hugh Freeze. This is the same Hugh Freeze that would win a big game and then get dragged by Memphis at Ole Miss. This is the same Hugh Freeze that left Liberty, and now Liberty, gentlemen, don't look at what they're doing since he's left, because it's playing really well. I believe in Drinkwitz more than I believe in Hugh Freeze. Give me Missouri.
Oh, wow. Nino.
Give me Missouri, man.
Knew it.
Public service announcement here for Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, if you're listening to this, look me straight in my eyes, please. Look me straight in my eyes.
Look right
3
there.
straight losses, man. You had a chance to beat OU. You had him at the crib. And then they named a play after what your quarterback did, a Kip 6. I want you to think about that for a minute. They named a play after the stupidity of what your team did that day. Kip 6. For all you OU fans out there, I hate to even say OU in the same damn sentence as any other team that I'm talking about. But give me Missouri, man. Burden's going to go off this game. Cook's going to go off this game. I don't trust Hugh Freeze at all. I don't trust that offense. Hugh Freeze, I had so much confidence in you this year, but you guys are not a well-coached team. Missouri all the way.
Man, all right. Woo. Y'all either to make your soul burn slow. All right, next game. We riding with ACC Master matchup. This one's going to be a critical one for this season. We've got the Miami Canes traveling to Louisville. Right now, Miami is a 5-point favorite on the road, and it appears that all the money is really flowing in their directions, and the line is moving up. Yeah, I'm going to say it. This might be all possible, gentlemen. The last time I take Miami in the game, I'm picking Miami in this one. Look, I know that Cam Ward has a couple of games coming up that he should win with Florida State, Duke. Georgia Tech should probably maybe a little bit of a challenge. But every time we get this deep into the season, this is when Cam Ward disappoints me. It's always that one game you think, oh, man, Washington State's going to take them boys out. And then all of a sudden, Cam Ward gets out to throw the ball. He gets very reckless with the ball. And Louisville's going to capitalize on some of it. But I don't think they capitalize enough on it. Tyler Shuck has been out there balling enough, but they're still 4-2, losing games that I don't feel like they should have lost. They shouldn't have lost to SMU like that, right? They should not have lost at Notre Dame the way they did. I think that Miami comes in there, pushes them around, uses their 5 stars, win the game. Steven, who you got?
Jay, I followed a lot of the same logic you just put down, so I don't think you're far off on this one. I'm going with the upset. I'm going Louisville here
Upset
at
game. I
home.
figured.
Yeah, I'm going Louisville. Miami is just there's been too close for calls, and I know that one could look at it and say, "Hey, they're winning ugly. They're learning how to win." Blah blah blah. But when I look at even Louisville losses, Louisville's still a good football team to me, even at their 4-2 record. I don't think there's any shame in losing to Notre Dame, and SMU has turned out to be a pretty good football team as well, with some of the stuff they pulled off recently, especially since the quarterback change on their end. So I'm looking at it from a standpoint of those mistakes that you mentioned, Jay. Louisville, Coach Brom, and those guys, they do have the firepower to punish Miami and put them in a real hole the way some of these other teams haven't been able to do it, whether it's Virginia Tech or Cal. Louisville has more firepower than that. And I don't know if Miami and Mario Cristobal really learned their lesson. As good as they've been and they're undefeated, you can't do this. I don't think they can get away with playing that way in Louisville. I think they play with fire and they get burned down there.
All right, Ty, who you got?
Man, there are a few games this weekend that really kept me up last night. This was both of you make great points. I'm going to take Miami. And the reason why I'm going to take Miami is I think that if nothing else, they have had to learn how to pull it out in really close situations. So if the game gets into a phone booth fight, they've had some games like that. And I think that experience is big. Now, to Steve's point, I think Louisville is a much better team than people are giving them credit for. Ja'Cory Brooks is going to be a tough stop. And I'm so excited for that matchup. I mean, this game really has matchups that you have got to get excited for. What are these quarterbacks going to do? What are these running backs going to do? Restrepo, Ja'Cory Brooks, the defensive backs. How do you try and take them away? It has it all. I just think Miami has a little bit more firepower, and I really value some of the pieces they have on that offensive line.
I'm with that. Nino, wrap us up.
Man, look, man, I got Miami, but this one's a tough one. This one's a real tough one. Yeah. I'm with Ty on this one, man. I thought, just thinking about Louisville, and they have some pretty close losses. But I like Cam Ward. And yes, Jay, I'm with you. I know Cam Ward, he tends to kind of level off at the end of the season, but that's what a Washington State team without the talent that he has here. So give me the Canes in this one. They've come back numerous times. Hopefully they've kind of learned their lesson to not get, in such a deep hole. You know what I'm saying? But give me the Canes here, man. I love some Cam Ward, man.
Okay. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I just know that we're getting to that point. So let's see if he can continue to ascend up or if he's going to really taper off and start falling back down. All right, next game. This one's an interesting one. We've got Colorado traveling out to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, to play the Wildcats. Right now, Arizona is sitting at a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is at 57.5. Last year, these two teams matched up, and Arizona pulled out the win 34-31. A lot closer than expected. If I'm correct, I don't think Travis Hunter got to play in that game. Travis Hunter is back after a shoulder injury against Kansas State, in which I think that's honestly the reason why Colorado lost that game. Because when they came back, took the lead, they immediately gave up a touchdown because they didn't have the right corner out there to stop the play. So if Travis Hunter is healthy enough, him going against T. McMillan's going to be cinema. I'm going to rob the Buffs. I want to see if Travis Hunter can show us that two-way. He's been talking noise about Genty. He's been talking his smack about playing both sides of the ball. This right here, this is your Heisman moment. Playing up against one of the top wide receivers in the country. I mean, McMillan has 742 yards, 4 touchdowns. Maybe not only 4 touchdowns, but 742. He's literally their wide receiver base. The next guy has maybe 17 catches. So if Travis Hunter can cause problems there, he may start pushing himself to the top spot in the Heisman. So I'm going to go ahead and rob the Buffs because I think Travis can do it. Let's see if they can make it happen. Steven, who you got?
Bing Bong here in the chat said he's putting receipts on me for the Miami pick. Brother, that's a damn near coin flip game. All right, I mean, You got me. All right. You got it. If I missed that one, all right. I mean, you acting like Miami been balling, bro. Like, I understand. But he over here putting me front and center. Don't come for me. I didn't send for you. Okay. Anyway, Jay, you painted the picture beautifully about the narrative in this game. Travis Hunter has been talking. And he's been front and center on my Heisman watch list. The last time I gave my rankings, he was number one. He is no longer number one. I have JT number one now. But this matchup with McMillan, heavyweight fight, right? And then what he does on the other side of the ball, obviously he's one of the best receivers, best offensive threats in the country. I think this is going to be a super, super fun game. Arizona didn't play good football like I thought they would against Utah. I'm sure that they'll come back with a better effort. Colorado coming off a loss. Expect fireworks, expect points. But can Travis Hunter make those big OMG plays to put himself back there? I think Colorado wins this one. I think he is going to make some plays. I believe in that kid. Now, will it be enough to overtake Michael Myers, a.k.a. Ashton Jeanty? If you know, you know. Probably not at this point. I think he has the storyline. But, yeah, he's Michael Myers out here. But give me Colorado. I like what Travis is doing. I think he keeps it interesting to keep that Heisman narrative going.
Ty, who you got?
I love the Jeanty love because just last week, Steven had Travis Hunter number one, and I said Jeanty would have, if you took away his yards before contact, he'd still be the third leading rusher in all of college football in yards after contact. That's insane. That, I don't think we really can quantify how insane that is. But give me Colorado. I'm going to tell you why. Arizona has absolutely disappointed me, right? Arizona has been a disappointing team this year. I just think they have. And when I look at this, for me, it's going to come down to the matchup that both of these gentlemen have talked about. You have McMillan versus Travis Hunter. I just think Colorado has shown that they have a lot of firepower that they can rely on. And I think that firepower shows up in this game. And I can't wait to watch that back and forth.
That's what I'm talking about, Nino. Clean sweep, family ties.
Faders. Clean sweep, baby.
Faders.
In Colorado, man. I will never go against Colorado again. I'm sorry, Buffalo family.
Get well soon to your cousin, Nino. Get well soon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? So get well soon. Yeah, man. You know, but Colorado's deep. They're deep on the offense side of the ball, but their defense is playing very well also. The only thing that still worries me about them is the running game. They still got to be able to run that ball well. But, hey, man, you got Sanders passing the ball. You got Travis Hunter, who's also playing offense and defense. He's, you know, in my opinion, the best player here in college football. I just think that they have too much for Arizona, and Arizona's been a big disappointment this year, man. They're giving up turnovers, you know, like Tony Romo was back in the day, man. So, hey, man, give me the Buffs. Buffs win this thing. Buff family, go Buffs.
All right. Next up, interesting matchup to me of the week. One of the games that had me kind of scratching my head on truly trying to decide. It's Notre Dame traveling to play against Georgia Tech.
It's a good game.
Notre Dame is walking in here as a 9.5 point favorite with an over-under of 50.5. Look, the last time Notre Dame went into a game as a 9-point favorite, I asked the question, how in the heck are they a 9-point favorite in this game? And it does feel like now Notre Dame has started to hit its stride. That blowout win over Stanford, the destruction of Purdue. Now they get this again, another opportunity against Georgia Tech. Yep, give me the Fighting Irish. Marcus Freeman is figuring it out, I guess. After he got embarrassed and he talked to the coach gave him a pep talk, talked to him about how to run his team, gave him a good coaching. He received that coaching like a man and went out there and started thrashing folks. Now they are 5-1, and honestly, they are front and center on getting themselves into the playoffs because they really don't have any competition down the line on their schedule. So give me Notre Dame to win this. I actually think they cover this spread too. Steven, who you got?
You know, it's funny you say about competition. Their competition is going to be the service academies.
It really is. It's true. That's true.
Yeah, both schools are ranked right now, and Army in particular. Man,
Yes.
look out, man. That's where their competition will come. But excuse me, not this week against Georgia Tech. I'm gonna give Notre Dame some props for what they did against Stanford, 49-7. And that Stanford team have been competitive. I think Notre Dame's found their run game, and they've been able to really move the ball more effectively on the ground, like they probably should have. And it's complimented Riley Leonard enough. I'm still not in love with their throw game if they get behind or anything like that. But with this defense, this run game, all that will travel, and I think Marcus and them go to 6-1 against a formidable Georgia Tech opponent. No, no disrespect to them, but give me Notre Dame here.
Ty.
Yeah, this is another one that kept me up because Notre Dame's run defense ranks 45th in the nation, and we know what Georgia Tech can do on the ground. I mean, they create problems. Ultimately, I am going to take Notre Dame, but this is one by a hair. What did you say that the line was, Jay?
It's 9.5 Notre Dame, and it's going up. It went from 8.5 to 9.5. That's where I'm thrown off. Shouldn't be this high.
Yeah, that seems odd to me. I'm going to take Notre Dame, but I don't know that I like them to cover because Georgia Tech can play a control style of game. They run the football very well, and Notre Dame has not stopped the run as well as I would like. Not bad, but 45th in the nation. But give me Notre Dame. This is a game they have to win.
Okay, Nino, clean sweep.
Yeah, man, clean sweep. Man, give me Notre Dame.
Ow.
This was a hard one, though, man. Excuse me. This is a really hard one because Georgia Tech, they got some pretty good wins. So they got Duke. They beat Duke. It's Duke's only loss in the record. They beat North Carolina last week, too, as well. But ever since those damn Fighting Irish lost that game, they've been getting better every week, week in and week out. They pummeled Stanford. I had Stanford covering that game. I had Stanford losing the game, but covering. But, man, they killed Stanford by, 35, 36 points or so. There are two things that travel, folks: defense and your damn running game, and they got them both in spades, man. Give me Notre Dame.
All right. Next up. Big 12, it was going to be a game of the week, but, man, one team decided to ruin it for everybody. We got BYU hosting Oklahoma State. BYU is an 8.5-point favorite at the crib. Over-under is set at 52.5, so the total's at 52.5. And I don't know if y'all have watched. If y'all been watching us here, y'all do know about the greatest moment on this streaming history when three guys picked the exact same team on their mortal lock without having an idea of who. And this team wasn't even on the sheet of teams to pick. It was just an offsite pick that they all pulled in. All three of them. And we almost had four, but I was like, I'm going to stick to the comfort of my team at the time. But they all picked BYU. And BYU is 6-0. Y'all know that BYU is 6-0 against the spread? Like, they have been putting in work on everybody. I'm going to think they're going to keep it going. Nothing about Oklahoma State tells me that they're worth picking on anything. Bowman needs to go ahead and retire. It's time for him to go ahead and apply for AARP. Go be an insurance agent there in Stillwater. You'll be a legend in that capacity. Did Ollie Gordon forget how to run the ball? Like, I don't get it. Like, he was Doak Walker Award winner. He's the nation's top running back. That's what we were told. And he has 384 yards, 4 touchdowns this season. This is not the performance I expected out of him. I expected him to be fighting for the Heisman. And we haven't talked about him at all this year. I think this is our first Oklahoma State game for the most part. At least I can think of. I think we've done one, but still, it's been brutal. I'm riding with BYU. I think they're gonna just beat up Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State's gonna fall to a shocking 0-4 in conference because they're 0-3 so far. Give me BYU. Steven, who you got?
Give me BYU. Oklahoma State's been terrible. I made that CW joke the other week, and I stand on it. This has been a horrible nightmare season for Mike Gundy, starting back at Big 12 Media Day, right? I mean, when they made the comment about Ollie Gordon and the Dewey and all the stuff going on there. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever seen the show Loudermilk on Netflix, but they may need to go to a AA meeting and get right internally over there, because something is rotten. The milk really has gone bad in Stillwater with all those veterans. How did things go so wrong? Right, all those senior Alan Bowman, all these guys. I mean, at this point, I've never seen a Mike Gundy coach team this uncompetitive. They were flat out uncompetitive against West Virginia. It seems like guys have quit on this season. It seems like Ollie Gordon got away with a lot of stuff internally that we probably won't learn until after the season. And it's nasty work. But BYU's, man, they've been chugging along, Old Faithful, every single week. I'm riding it out with BYU at home. I have no worries about this pick.
Ty.
Yeah. Listen, BYU has been my go-to in the mortal locks, and it has paid off twice. And I'm going to take BYU in this one. Now, Jay, to your point, we have talked about Oklahoma State. And I'm going to tell you right now how I know we've talked about them. You want to know the best way to take out Ollie Gordon from the game plan? And this is actually genius-level stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Mike Gundy has figured out how defenses can nullify Ollie Gordon. Just don't give him the ball. I mean, what he did against Arkansas, genius-level stuff there from Gundy. How does Arkansas have to not worry about Ollie Gordon if I don't give him the football? Groundbreaking, truly.
Groundbreaking.
Steve, you're right. They need to go see what's going on over there. I'd imagine the local liquor stores are pretty low on stock, and somebody needs to get to the bottom of it. They should feel lucky they have the Arkansas win. You didn't win that game. The most abysmal play calling and clock management I have seen in Power 4 conference football lost Arkansas that game, and I don't think that they are going to win this one. Give me BYU.
Ooh-wee. Nino, who you got?
Come fade us. Clean sweep. BYU. Ooh. I think Steven's right, man. You know, if this team was good enough to have a 30 for 30 special, they're not, because they're not a good team. You know, like we would find out some stuff about this team, but they're just not a good team. So we'll never find out. Look, man, BYU doesn't have the most talented roster. I just think they're just really well coached with really good players. And they're just a solid ass team, man. Oklahoma State, dude, what is wrong with you? Like Texas leaves, OU leaves. And this conference was primed, prepped, and ready for you just to win it this year. You got Ollie Gordon there. You got a quarterback that's been there for 70 years. Gundy's the most experienced coach in that whole damn division, and you guys still can't do it. All right, so I don't know what's up with you guys, but something has to get figured out. Maybe it gets better next year, but I doubt it. BYU is going to win this game easily.
Yeah, it's crazy how many super seniors that Oklahoma State has, and somehow it did not happen or work for them this year. We're going to study this in 20 years and be baffled by the results. Next game, we've got Michigan traveling to Illinois to fight the Illini in Champaign.
Tough one.
Right now,
I still don't feel good
about my pick. The
Wolverines
have ballooned to a 3.5-point favorite after opening as a 1-point favorite. That spread's kind of weird, right? We all know if there's one thing that Illinois does very well, and shout out to Steven for putting this to our attention, their pass defense is really good. Michigan doesn't throw the ball, so that's not going to help them in this game. Give me the Wolverines. They're literally just going to run it down their throat the entire game, and that's the only thing Michigan has for themselves. If they can muscle you, they're going to win. Their defense is still solid enough. It hasn't been that good when you look at the actual numbers, which is really surprising to me. I thought they were better than when I looked at the numbers, but they're just going to run down your throat. Play keep away and not worry about those corners that Illinois has because they ain't going to never throw the ball. So give me the Wolverines. Steven, who you riding with?
So, yeah, I mean, these have been my guys, and I love the way they play. I love the mentality. I love the way they're coached, especially on the defensive side of the ball by Aaron Henry, who I think is – very soon to be a head coach and be running his own program. If my short list of guys right now, these are just Steve's guys, Aaron Henry, Brennan Marion, guys that are just killing it on both sides of the ball in terms of their units as coordinators. This game was tough for me as well. I went with Illinois though, not because of the defense, because of Luke Altmaier, quarterback. Luke has been very, very efficient. I think he only has one interception this year.
Just
I
one.
love the way he's played. He consistently moves the chains. Pat Bryant at receiver, he's got a guy that can go up and get a jump ball almost against anybody in the country. And they're grading pretty well in the pass, in the passing efficiency game. I think they're going to be able to put some points up to force Michigan out of that shell. That's my way to see this for Illinois. That's the only way. If they get behind the sticks and Michigan comes out and let's say they get up 10-0, yeah, then Illinois is in trouble. I think Luke Altmaier is going to be able to put some pressure on Michigan defensively and pull off this game at home. Huge win for Brett Bielema and the Illini. Give me Illinois.
Ooh, Ty, who you got?
Yeah, this was the game that kept me up the most. Out of all of them, it was the Notre Dame, the Miami game, and then this one, the two that really. I'm going to take Michigan. Illinois is 77th in the nation in rush defense, and Jay, to your point, they rely on that pass defense. Good luck. If they throw the ball 15 times, I think that someone could win a whole lot of money on that bet. Will Michigan throw the ball more than 12 times? That's a bet that I'd be interested in seeing. Yeah, they just don't do that, right? Illinois has had trouble stopping the run, and this is a very physical rush attack. Now, to Steve's point, Michigan's got to figure out a way to slow down this quarterback because he has been good. And if he can keep this close, the one thing I worry about is the reverse of what Steve just said. If Illinois goes out and goes up 10, 14 points early, I don't like Michigan's style of play to come from behind. So Michigan, the defense has got to show up. They've got the talent. But I do believe that the rushing game and the physicality on the line of scrimmage will net Michigan this win.
All right, Nino, wrap us up.
Yeah, man, I like Michigan in this game just for the simple fact that Michigan's coming off a bye. All right, and so they got 2 weeks to kind of get things straight for this game, man. And if Moore can't get his guys up for this one game to come after a bye and win this game and have some kind of innovation in his offense, then they don't deserve to win this game. But I like Michigan in this game just for the simple fact that they can run the ball very well too as well. And I just got a feeling that they're going to pull it off. I don't have great confidence in it. I don't. This is one of those games where I think my mind is telling me to pick Illinois, but something underneath is just saying pick Michigan because they should win this game. They got 2 weeks to get this game straight, man. Give me Michigan. But if they don't win this game, it's going to be a lot of unrest up there.
Nino, some interesting noise in the chat. There's multiple comments that just said what you said about my mind is saying one thing, my heart is saying another. Multiple comments from fans 100%. Here in the chat.
Yeah, that's true.
Really? There's multiple comments from fans. This is what I've never seen before because we love our degenerates here. We got people saying this game is a stay away. We got people saying they don't even want to bet this game because that's how
yeah, this is a tough one.
Hey, look,
this is a tough one.
Look, I looked at the exact same thing. It's my problem. Purdue. We'll talk about Purdue in a bit. Purdue fired their offensive coordinator, then scored 49 on Illinois. That to me has got me completely nervous about selecting this game. Purdue can't score. They put up 49 on them and win the overtime. Yeah, this is a game I would normally not touch because of that exact reason. So, Chet, you are 100% right. It doesn't make
it. It's 10-foot pole.
Yes, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
So,
I'm scared about this game.
I'm very much scared. All right, next game. Time to dive into the SEC games. Not game, but games of the week. There's a lot of them. There's some good ones. Mm-hmm. First up, Alabama traveling to Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee to play against the Volunteers. Right now, Bama is a 3-point favorite on the road. And man, everything I thought about conventionally with this game, I was like, I'm probably going to toss out the window because this is a rivalry game. It is the third Saturday in October. Just always know that. The third Saturday in October. I'm riding with the Tide in this one, and there's only one real reason why. My excitement for that Tennessee offense has slowly waned away. I was told by Tennessee fans against Oklahoma that they pulled back and the offense didn't want to do too much. The offense has not shown up since. So it feels like it wasn't a pullback. It's that when you got in the SEC play, the offense just wasn't there yet. Nico is still learning. He's still a young quarterback. I feel like he's going to be amazing next season. But teams have recognized that Josh Heupel is the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Volunteers, and they are playing it that way. As soon as that headset's turned off, they're changing their sets, just like the Patriots in the Super Bowl. But I think Alabama's got it because I don't think that Tennessee is going to be able to defend Milroe, even with the little quirks that he's had over the last few games. I don't think that they're going to be able to defend him fully because he's going to be able to not only run, but Ryan Williams is going to catch it all over the place. Give me the Tide. Steven, who you got?
I know Ty is here. We might have to have him do earmuffs, even though he already has them on. I don't trust anybody in this game. I don't. Why?
This is the second one.
Why should I trust? Why should I trust Alabama as a road favorite? Why? What have they done in the last 2 weeks to give me any impression that they're just going to magically? That South Carolina game almost left a worse taste in my mouth than the Vanderbilt game, because classic Bama would go BTA the following week against anybody after Vanderbilt.
That's actually not true.
All right.
Nick Saban coming off of
what?
losses against the spread was not good.
Okay. Well, you know what? I'll cede my time to Ty. I'm going with Tennessee because they're at home, and I think that something is rotten with both of these teams right now, but I trust Tennessee at home a little bit more, and I don't have much else other than I just nothing makes sense with what I'm seeing from Bama. But Ty, please educate me because I'm lost, my friend.
Go ahead, Ty.
No, I think Bama should have beaten South Carolina a lot worse. That game was really wonky. We talked about it earlier. When I got my hands on the All-22, I didn't know how to feel. In some areas, I felt better. In some areas, I felt worse. I think it boiled down to 6 disastrous plays, not bad plays. Disastrous plays.
Disastrous.
And that was the difference in that game. Outside of those 6 plays, I was not disheartened by what I saw defensively. Offensively, it's got to get better. But when we talk about Tennessee's got a great defense, and I'm very excited to see Alabama's offense against this Tennessee defense. But then the flip side is Bama's defense hasn't been what we thought it was going to be. But the one area when they're at their best is when they can play a team and disguise coverages, just like they did in the first half against Georgia, where they had Carson Beck confused. That's what teams have been doing to Tennessee. In fact, the last few weeks, they've shown them a light box, got Tennessee to run the football, and then they drop guys down into the box to stifle that run. And Tennessee is the number 9 scoring offense in the nation, but that's a fool's gold stat as we currently sit here. I think they're capable. But they beat teams earlier on like 55-10, 63-3, and then 71-0. They have not scored 30 points since. And they barely won against Florida when their quarterback tore their ACL. Had Graham Mertz not torn his ACL, I don't think Tennessee wins that game, and that was at Neyland. So when I look at this, if you were allowing, and Florida had so many opportunities they didn't capitalize on. If that's what happens against Florida, what happens when you see by far and about the best offense you've seen thus far this year? That being said, I think Tennessee is one of the best offenses Alabama has seen. Give me Alabama in a close game. I don't disagree with you, Steven, that why trust either team. Alabama's got to figure it out. I think you're seeing what happens whenever you have total scheme changes on every side of the ball. Things get wonky, but Alabama, I think, has the firepower to take it to Tennessee.
All right, Nino. Alternating?
We're not alternating. Give me Alabama. All right.
Steven's the one that went on the limb this week. All right.
Yeah, man. Steven's off the rails this week. I like it though, Steven. It's not off the rails. It's actually, look here, man. I had a problem.
These are coin flip games.
It is a coin flip game. Hey, Steven, I was going to pick Tennessee, but then I had to realize that my wife's from Alabama, and if I want to eat real food tonight and not die tomorrow, then I need to pick Alabama. And my cousins are in the chat, from Greene County, and so if I want to, still have some kind of relationship and bond with my cousins, then I need to pick, Bama here in this game. But look, I'm going to say this, man. Bama has probably 2 of the top 5 most explosive players in the SEC, or probably in the country, in Jalen Milroe and Ryan Williams. I just don't know how Tennessee is going to be able to stop that. Even though Tennessee does have a great defense, I just like to, just the experience factor here, for Jalen Milroe versus Nico as well too, man. So give me Bama to win this game. I don't really feel great about this game. I don't feel great about picking Bama in this game because of what we saw just the last 2 weeks. But I got Bama winning this game, a close game, very close game in Tennessee.
All right. Next up, LSU traveling to Fayetteville, as y'all call it, not Fayetteville. LSU is a 2.5-point favorite. This one I struggled with. LSU coming off that emotional win against Ole Miss in a night game. So it's like, man, it's a great opportunity for a tumble and fall situation for LSU, for them to just, not do too well because they travel to Texas A&M next week, who's 14th in the country. Great overlook, great trap game for them. Arkansas, 4-2. We talked about this. Kind of shocked that they ended up 4-2 so far. And there was a chance, and they're here. Can Arkansas get their 5th win? I hate to say it. I'm going to trust Brian Kelly here. Give me LSU. Nussmeier has done a great job of just managing this team. Caden Durham starting their freshman. Now they're starting running back, 281 yards, 3 touchdowns on 41 carries. Did not expect that. And they still have one of the best set of tackles in the country. They're playing solid football. I thought their defense was going to fall apart the minute that Harold Perkins was out. And they did not. They actually showed up. Now, that could be an indictment on Ole Miss or not. I don't know. We'll find out in about a week. But I think that LSU can win this game. I don't think Arkansas has enough juice to squeeze this one out. Give me LSU. Steven, who you got?
I'm going to make it short and sweet. LSU undefeated so far in SEC play. I think they remain undefeated so far in SEC play heading into Texas A&M next week. This is a very, very good game, very tough spot. I just like Nussmeier's, ability to go in there and not be, rattled. I think he's got some great stuff upstairs. We know what his father was, as a player and coach as well. And he's developed a really nice chemistry with Kyron Lacey. Kind of similar to what Jaden Daniels developed with Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors last year. He's got that same type of mind meld going on. And it's probably because him and Kyron Lacey were repping last year together on the second team. They've taken that connection to the next level as starters. I like what they're doing. I think they're undefeated going into College Station next week. Arkansas is really, really good in terms of what they've shown us at 4-2 and dangerous, but I like BK and them to win this game.
I love that Steven said he was going to be brief, and then he gave us his doctoral dissertation on both teams. Ty, who you got?
Not so fast, my friend. I'm taking Arkansas in this game. I think, Jay, you laid it out perfectly. This is a trap game for LSU. I think that A&M on the horizon, and they have not played a quarterback that's like Arkansas's quarterback, where he's going to get out in space. He's going to be able to move the pocket really efficiently. And I'm not saying they've played a bunch of statues, but the way Green moves is different. That dude is a legit threat with his legs. You have got to account for him. He's having a really good season. Give me Arkansas in a real close game. I'm excited about this one, though, because this is another one that kept me up. But I'm going to take the Hogs. I need the points.
Nino.
Hey, man, I'm a Bayou boy from Shreveport, Louisiana, Caddo Parish, man. Give me LSU to win this game, man. Nussmeier looks outstanding, man. And to talk about Green, hey, Green is great. I mean, I won't say great. He's really good. Isn't he hurt also? Didn't he hurt his knee in the last game?
I think he did, didn't he?
I think he hurt his knee like 2 games ago, but he's still playing.
Okay. Gotcha. So, but yeah, man, I like Nussmeier.
He is questionable.
Yeah, okay. He's questionable, right? So he had like a kind of nasty knee injury where when he tried to run in the last game, I saw him kind of hobble a little bit. It wasn't as strong as it usually is for him. So give me LSU. Their defense has been much improved this year too as well. Just these last 3 games, like Ole Miss. Ole Miss has all the world, like utterly world offense. They were able to stop them just to 26 points, man. I like LSU to win this game. It's at Arkansas. It is a trap game, folks. It is a trap game going to Arkansas and actually playing there, man. It's going to be a late night game too at 7:00 at night. Arkansas fans are some of the rowdiest and nastiest too as well. But I like Nussmeier. This team is going to get better as this year goes on, and they're really going to be a force to be reckoned with. LSU, baby.
Trap City.
And to clarify, Talon Green is not on the injury report for Arkansas.
He's not.
I just looked at
okay.
the
So he's
SEC
not, okay.
injury reports. No.
Okay.
So he didn't put him on. I know that he was initially questionable in the conversation, so now he's off the list. He's in. All right, last game of the week. Got to give it to it. We've got the Georgia Bulldogs traveling to DKR to play them Texas Longhorns. The Texas Longhorns. I'll be respectful here to my friends. I still love them, even though they're very mean to me for no apparent reason when I'm not mean back to them. But we're not going to get into that. Texas is a 4.5-point favorite in this game, and the spread has moved up from 3.5, which is kind of interesting. This one, honestly, was not as tough as I thought it was going to be for me. I'm going to go with Texas. I don't see a reason that Georgia's going to go in there and push them around their own stadium. I don't see a reason that, the way that Georgia struggled against Alabama to start that game, sure, they rallied back, but Bama had them in a blender in that game, in that matchup. It just did not, they couldn't close it all the way and keep it a big gap, but they ended up winning the game in the end because Georgia still couldn't stop the big play. Texas walks in there, one of the best offenses and defenses out there right now. They're playing perfect football overall. This will be their first big test of the season. I think they live up to it. Give me Texas to win this game. Stephen, who you got?
I got my pen out for real analysis here now. Okay, like Ty does, because it's about to go down. Number one, Carson Beck. I love this challenge. I will be at the game tomorrow in Austin at DKR against the Georgia Bulldogs. Can't wait to be in that environment. It will be electric tomorrow night. Carson Beck is probably the best, most experienced player at quarterback we've seen come in there since Bryce Young in 2022 in terms of really understanding cerebrally, on the road. I'm talking about at DKR. I'm not talking about who we face, but at DKR.
Yes, 100%. You're exactly right.
So it'll be interesting because now our secondary will be tested. I think if he comes out, if we see the Carson Beck that we saw that was down in Tuscaloosa, that has to push the ball vertically down the field. He can't worry about turnovers. He can't worry about picks because they're going to need to have those points on the board to keep up and to help get the run game going, especially if Tate Rutledge isn't going to play and they've had trouble establishing the run on the interior. Carson Beck's going to have to look like an NFL player that he is. The reason why I'm picking Texas, y'all know it's my team, but I got to give some analysis here. And listen up real closely, Bleacher Report family. The best player on Texas and the best player on the best team in the country is Kelvin Banks Jr., and he should actually be the one that is solidified amongst people as a Heisman if we actually cared about all the positions. Because with multiple quarterbacks back there, with multiple running backs back there, there's been nothing but clean pockets for whether it's Arch Manning in there, whether it's Quinn Ewers in there, who else is. We've moved people into the running back room, and we've had clean pockets, and it's because Kelvin Banks Jr. has been absolutely dominant on the left side, one of the most important positions. He will be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. The other thing is the ability in screen game and run game to get out in space. He has the athleticism as a tight end. He's been unbelievable. He deserves his flowers as being one of the best players in the country. I think you'll see why in a great matchup if Michael Williams plays and some of these other guys on Georgia's defensive front will be tested. But Kelvin Banks Jr. has been absolutely unbelievable, and I want to give him his flowers. Give me Texas here in a really, really great game tomorrow night in Austin.
Ty, who you got?
Give me Texas. I'm going to keep it a bit shorter, but here's what I'm going to tell you. One, the best Georgia offensive lineman is out. It's one of the same reasons why I was confident in Alabama being able to try and get pressure on Carson Beck, because you're missing a key piece to that Georgia offensive line. Same analysis carries over to Texas too. What type of offensive minds give the Nick Sabans and Kirby Smarts of the world problems? Guys who get creative and guys who make you defend every blade of grass on the field. There's another reason why I picked Alabama, because Kalen DeBoer can do that. Sark writes the darn book on it. I think that Texas is going to go get a win by 7 to 10 points. Yes, Steve, you're right. This is the most complete team y'all have faced. Y'all faced some decent defenses before. Statistically, this is the best defense by a wide margin. I think the other best one is Michigan, which I believe comes in at 47. Georgia comes in at 27. I just like Texas because they're playing the best football in the nation right now.
Nino.
You know it's a clean sweep. Come fade us. It's Texas all day long. Come on, Longhorns, man. I just want to kind of just go off of what Steven said. Let's get some like a nice shout out to them big humans out there at Texas, man. From left to right on that offensive line, Kelvin Banks Jr., Hayden Connor, Jake Majors, DJ Campbell, Big Cam Williams. Texas has two guys that are going to potentially go in the first round this year in the draft, one being a first-year starter in Cam Williams playing that right tackle position. All Texas has done this year has been the most complete team in all of college football. And I don't think it stops here on Saturday night. Catch me on Bleacher Report after the game, too, for that live. I will be there. But, man, look here, man. Texas has found their running game, too, as well with Trey Wisner. He's coming. He stepped up. I think it's going to be RB1, which is going to push Jaden Blue back to the position that he played last year, which is the guy that comes in on those third downs and comes in and gets those quick passes and takes it 50 yards. Yes, Bond might be a little bit dinged up, but guess what? Texas is so deep at wide receiver. A guy like Wingo has come in, and you're looking at I'm going to go ahead and say it, guys. He's a young Roy Williams. He's Roy Williams 2.0 here at Texas in a Wingo as well. And that Texas defense, man, that secondary is something that can't be sneezed at as well. Texas did an outstanding job moving Barron over to, the actual, corner position, having Gilbo come out and be that star, getting guys there fresh in the secondary as well. It hurts losing a guy like Derek Williams, but we got a guy named number 25, Jelani McDonald, who's going to come in and do great things also. Texas is the most complete team. Carson Beck is going to be the best quarterback that Texas has played so far this year. Carson Beck, as much as he giveth, he taketh also. He's going to give the ball up, folks. Texas secondary is going to be ready for that. I got Texas winning this game a lot like what Ty says. They're going to win this game by a touchdown or more.
All right, let's go into we got one spread game going to our mortal locks. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy fast and wrap it up. We've got Oregon tonight playing against the Purdue Boilermakers. Right now, Oregon is a 29.5-point favorite. This is the perfect opportunity for Oregon to fall flat on their face after a massive victory last weekend. I think Oregon covers the spread. Purdue is awful. Like, there's nothing good about them. Yes, they fired the offensive coordinator. They scored 49 on Illinois. I think Oregon goes out there and tries to embarrass them as much as possible because they have to show that just because they won 32-31 against Ohio State, they're not going to fall on their face. They got to prove to the country that they can keep it going. Give me Oregon. Steven, who you got?
Yeah, give me Oregon here. Speed round. I feel comfortable with them covering.
Ty.
Oregon covers the spread.
Ooh, Nino.
No clean sweep. Purdue is not going to let this happen. Oregon has not been great against the spread so far this year, man. Give me Purdue to actually keep. It's not going to keep it close, but they ain't going to lose by 29, right? By 30.
Yeah, 29.5 right now, almost 30. So, okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Mortal locks. Then we're going to show you our picks and standings. Mortal lock of the week for your boy. Give me Colorado +3 or whatever it was at the time. Give me Colorado. I think they're going to cover the spread on this one. I think Colorado wins the game. Arizona's just not good, and they have just done nothing but disappoint me week after week, and I'm tired of this. It's a reckoning coming to you, Arizona. I believed in you. Give me the Buffs. Steven.
Florida money line versus Kentucky at home in the Swamp. The beginning of the official beginning of the DJ Lagway era. I think, Florida, I think is right now +1.5, but they've actually, there's a path for Billy Napier to make it to a bowl game. They're in position. Believe it or not, they are in position. They got to win this game. I think it's a very winnable game at home. And with DJ Lagway can build a lot of momentum, a lot of good faith with the Gator faithful. So feel comfortable here with Florida money line over Kentucky.
Ty, who you got?
3 weeks in a row. I love your mortal lock picks. That's a great one. And Florida, had Mertz not gotten hurt, probably would have beaten Tennessee. But I'm going a different direction here. I'm going Duke, who is a 3-point favorite over Florida State. I like Duke to cover. Florida State is abysmal. They are terrible. They are awful. I don't know what they do well. They've got some good education.
They've done nothing well this season. That's wild to me.
They've got a great intro. But outside of that, I don't know what actual on the football field they've been good at this season. And I told y'all this was going to happen all off season. Duke covers.
Oh man,
Nino,
my boy Ty
us up
said
so we can get out of
Florida
here.
State got that good book game. Hey man, give me Army. Army's going to win against Eastern Carolina, and they're going to cover the 15.5 points. Man, Army's been on the roll this year, man. I like what they're doing every game. They are rolling out people. I love what Army's doing, man. Give me them to win and cover.
Yeah, and they're 6-0 against the spread as well this season. All right, let's look at these final picks.
That's a great one.
That's a great one. I almost picked them. I am excited, man. This is a nice little match. We got a little bit of mixtures in here, so it's not fully chalk. But, of course, the ones we got on here, go ahead and fade us. That is our picks for the week with our mortal locks and spreads. Give us those final standings so we can get out of here. We're a little over time, but, it's okay. Y'all still love us. Ty somehow. Oh, him and Steven that cheated their ways to the top.
It's the mortal locks, man. It's the mortal locks.
Mortal locks kicking my tail. Yeah, Colorado, redeem me,
well
please.
Well done, sir.
Redeem me, please. And thank y'all for pulling up to the College Football Prediction Roundtable here on the Bleacher Report app. We do it every Friday. Pull up, join us. We'll be talking next Friday about all these games. For Steven, Ty, and Nino, I'm Jay. We will chop it up with each and every single one of you next Friday. Peace.